Everyone says I'm easygoing and loyal. 2 years into our relationship, Bella flew into another one of her rages and blocked me on everything. Before she vanished, she left me with one cold sentence. Just pretend I'm dead and leave me alone. I knew that every time Bella gave me the silent treatment, it was just an excuse to go out drinking with her guy best friend to blow off steam. Just like always, I didn't cry or cause a scene. I didn't call her on it. One day, the dead Bella happened to be walking past a coffee shop and saw me. I was in the middle of telling the beautiful woman next to me, in a weak and helpless voice, "Ever since my girlfriend passed away, I've been too lonely to sleep." The woman frowned. "Your girlfriend was awful. She's not worth holding on to." I sighed. What can I say? I'm easygoing and loyal. I took her hand, and she gave me a gentle, sympathetic hug. Outside the floor-to-ceiling window, Bella's face turned white with rage. It wasn't until I tried to send Bella a good night text that I realized I'd been blocked again. This time, she was seriously pissed. She hadn't just blocked me on WhatsApp, she'd blocked every possible way I could contact her. I had no choice but to call her friend, Kyle. It was loud on his end of the line. He stammered for a bit before finally saying, with a voice full of pity, "Bowden, Bella said to just pretend she's dead and to stop bothering her." I replied calmly, "Okay." As soon as I hung up, a photo from Ethan popped up on my phone. In the picture, he was pressed up against Bella, the two of them sharing a single microphone, looking incredibly close. There was a video, too. In it, a tipsy Bella was leaning back on the sofa, eyes closed, her tie loosened. She took a sip from the drink Ethan was holding up to her lips. Then she frowned and complained, "Kyle, I fucking told you not to answer his calls. Why did you pick up?" She pinched the bridge of her nose. "So annoying." Ethan sent a message. "Bowden, seriously, don't be mad. I've known her for years, and Bella just has that kind of temper. I'll apologize to you on her behalf." They all knew. I was the easygoing, loyal guy you couldn't get rid of. I stared blankly at the photo and the message, and for the first time, I felt a flicker of impatience. I replied, "Apologize on her behalf? Are you her dad or her little boy toy?" Ethan was stunned. He clearly hadn't expected me, the guy who never said a word, to actually talk back. He wrote, "Isn't that a little harsh? I was just trying to be nice and comfort you." I wrote back, "Is getting handsy with someone else's girlfriend your way of comforting people?" Ethan didn't reply. Less than 30 seconds later, a voice call came through, but the person on the other end was Bella. "Bowden, are you done yet?" She said coldly. "Are you going to harass every single one of my friends before you finally stop?" I asked calmly, "How long is the silent treatment going to last this time?" She scoffed. "None of your business. You're the one who pissed me off, so I'll ignore you for as long as I want. Now listen up, and don't you dare bother me again." She snapped. I said, "Just pretend I'm dead. Okay? Leave me alone." The call ended with a sharp click. She was this furious just because I was a dozen minutes late bringing her dessert. My girlfriend was defending her guy friend, but I didn't feel angry, and my eyes didn't well up. I just contacted someone else. In a soft voice, tinged with helplessness and suppressed hurt, I said, "Ivy, my girlfriend's dead. What do I do?" Ivy replied quickly, "Bowden, don't panic. What happened?" I seized the opportunity and called her. After all, I was just a poor, distraught guy who had lost all sense of propriety. The phone rang 3 times, a sign of Ivy's faint, struggling hesitation. But good-hearted Ivy answered the call in the end. I sniffled, my voice hoarse. Her friend told me she's dead. "Ivy, I'm so heartbroken." Ivy sighed, her voice full of sympathy. I pressed my advantage, sounding even more pitiful.
"Ivy, I'm sorry."
"Am I interrupting your work?" "No, I finished up at the office a while ago." "That's good," I said. "I'd feel terrible if I let my problems get in your way." "Bowden." Before she could finish, I took a deep breath and said in a deliberately lighter tone, "Ivy, I won't bother you anymore. I think I'll just go for a walk by the beach by myself." 1 second. 2 seconds. I let out a soft, choked sob. Ivy whispered, "Wait. It's late. I'll go with you." I smiled silently. I hung up the phone. Suddenly, An unknown number started calling. Several missed calls. All of them cut short because my line was busy. The anonymous caller finally lost their patience and, with their oh-so-noble fingers, sent me a text. "Who are you on the phone with for so long? Hang up and go apologize to Ethan." I glanced at the message, pretending I didn't know it was Bella. I tossed my phone onto the sofa. I was busy picking out clothes for the beach. I needed to look pitiful but also handsome. I held a thin shirt in one hand and a white trench coat in the other. Fall was setting in, and the sea breeze would be cool at night. My fingers tapped thoughtfully. I put on the shirt. Right before I left, I spared 1 second to check my messages. Bella was not the clingy type. She was beautiful and came from a wealthy family. She was the treasured daughter who had been lost for many years before being found and welcomed back by the Vaughns. A miracle survivor. The elders doted on her excessively. It had fostered an arrogant personality. People were supposed to chase and appease her, not the other way around. Sure enough, this time her only message was, "Fine. Just fine." It seemed I had succeeded in making her very unhappy. She was about to retaliate. A message from Ethan came in. "Bowden, you're a grown man. How can you be so bad at taking care of people? Bella is totally wasted, and you're just ignoring her?" In the background of the voice message, a woman's lazy voice murmured, indistinct and intimate. You could tell she was lying down when she spoke. I had assumed they went to a hotel, but when I opened the video Ethan sent me, my eyes were truly opened. That was our bed. Our bedroom. A drunk Bella stared coldly into the camera, challenging it. She actively wrapped her arm around Ethan and, with her free hand, gave a big middle finger to the screen. It was obvious she knew Ethan would send the video to me. She might have even been the one who told him to take it. Bella had always been like this. If she felt someone had wronged her in the slightest, she would retaliate tenfold, without any regard for right or wrong, context or reason. She would aim for your biggest vulnerability and twist the knife. No mercy. It was as if she believed that throwing a tantrum was the most important thing in the world. "Bowden, Bella's drunk and she's clinging to me, won't let me leave. Please don't misunderstand, and don't be mad. Okay? She's just got a childish temper. She's always been like this. Please don't fight because of me." I didn't reply. I just saved the video, screen recorded the voice messages, and posted them to my social feed. I made it visible only to a few mutual friends. The caption: "Some people will go with anything." Almost the second I posted it, Ethan panicked. "Bowden, I was just joking with you. Why did you post that? Why are you being so serious?" I replied coolly, "Yeah, I am being serious." I added, "Sorry, my girlfriend just died. Seeing her ghost is kind of upsetting." I put down my phone, and everything was calm again. I ignored Ethan's frantic, angry denials. I just felt the last bit of pain in my heart disappear. The beginning of my relationship with Bella had been a whirlwind romance. There are no real fools in this world. If a woman is obviously awful and transparently toxic, no man is going to like her, let alone get stuck on her for a long time. So, in the beginning, Bella wasn't like this. She was beautiful, young, and generous. She radiated a bubbly energy of bravery and high spirits. When she set her sights on someone, she wanted to be their knight in shining armor, ready to take on the world for them. She took care of the thugs who were following me on my way home from work. She dealt with my demanding boss. I thought we were in an equal partnership. But the world ran out of things for Bella to fight. The heroic sword she held so high grew heavier and more boring. Until one day, she suddenly started picking fights with me. "Bowden," Bella complained in a low voice, "don't you ever think your personality is just really boring?" Her friends snickered. The one who laughed the hardest, who even exchanged a mocking look with Bella, was her guy best friend, Ethan. That's when I suddenly realized it. They must have talked about me behind my back many times before. While I was trying to build a future for us, hoping to make our relationship more stable, Bella was treating it all like a game that was supposed to be exciting. Love fades slowly. A breakup was long overdue. It was death by 1,000 cuts, slow and silent. Bella's friends all said I was easygoing and loyal. They had no idea I was just slowly burning through the last dregs of regret. Not regret for losing Bella, just regret for all the love that had been wasted. Until that rainy day. After a fight, Bella blocked me, which meant I couldn't even tell her we were breaking up. On that rainy day, my heart dead, I walked away from their party at the club, phone in hand. I walked through the streets in the pouring rain. I saw a Porsche heading in the opposite direction, toward the club. It was about to drive off, but then the car turned around and slowly approached me. The window slid down a crack. Following instructions from inside, the driver hurried out and handed me an umbrella. Through that narrow gap in the window, I saw a pair of gentle, peaceful eyes. The kind of eyes that love humanity but not any specific person. Distant and polite. That narrow car window was like a barrier between two different worlds. I think I fell in love with Ivy at first sight, which goes to show I wasn't entirely innocent either. At the beach, Ivy arrived as promised, a polite 15 minutes early. She leaned against her black Porsche, replying to work messages. Her eyelids were slightly lowered, but it couldn't hide the gentle and steady confidence in her expression. She was a good person, a philanthropist at heart, but if you demanded her affection, she was made of stone. If you were pitiful enough, on the verge of collapse, she would embrace you without hesitation. But if you declared your love passionately and begged for a handshake, she would refuse you outright and avoid you for the rest of your life. I watched her. She seemed like an untouchable flower on a high peak. Ivy finally noticed my arrival. When she looked up at me, she frowned with a hint of disapproval. "Bowden, you're not dressed warmly enough. You'll catch a cold." The next moment, just as I expected, her gray coat was draped over my shoulders. The long hem brushed against my calves, fluttering in the sea breeze. Ivy's unique, elegant scent of woodsy rose filled the air around me. I shook my head weakly. "Ivy, my mind is a mess. I wasn't paying attention to what I was wearing." She could only sigh again, helplessly. I rejected the plan to walk on the beach, insisting that she get in the car so she wouldn't get cold. And so Ivy, who rarely got this close to anyone, was gently backed into a corner. She had no choice but to invite me into the car with her. The car felt cramped. Ivy crossed her legs, and her shoe accidentally brushed against my pants. She froze for a second, then shifted away toward the driver's side window. I heard her let out another one of those quiet sighs, the kind that said she didn't know what to do with me. The car's heater was turned on. "Actually, about Bella," Ivy began, her brow furrowed with difficulty. She trailed off as if she felt guilty, like she was holding a secret that was as hard to say as it was to swallow. Naturally, I was an expert at being considerate and didn't want to make it hard for her. "Ivy, you don't have to comfort me. I'll be fine after a little while by myself." I turned my head slightly and gave her a small smile. "I've been like this since I was a kid. Whenever something makes me sad, I just need to be alone for a bit, and then I'm not sad anymore." Ivy's hand, which had been hesitating near her watch, instantly froze. Another exception was made. She switched her phone to silent, placed its screen down in a console compartment. Those compassionate, gentle eyes looked at me, completely unguarded. "That won't do. Whatever you're sad about, just tell me. Maybe there's something I can do to help." I couldn't speak clearly, I couldn't even sit straight. I had to lean closer to her, whispering my story. As I spoke, emotions surged, and my body unconsciously gave out. My head came to rest on Ivy's shoulder. How troublesome. After I finally finished my story, having forgotten to bring a handkerchief, my eyes grew hot and my vision blurred. Seeing this, Ivy also momentarily forgot about tissues and subconsciously reached out, gently wiping the moisture from the corner of my eye with her fingertips. Even more troublesome. When I finally got home, I realized I'd forgotten to return Ivy's coat, so I had no choice but to hang the faintly scented garment in my own closet. I was just so careless. But God would have to forgive my recklessness. After all, my girlfriend was dead. When a sudden tragedy strikes, it's only natural for a person to make a few mistakes. I sighed softly to myself as I closed my eyes to sleep. The next day, my social media post was blowing up. "Friend A, diagnosis. He's a total player." Friend B, definitely versatile. But aside from the few who spoke up for me, most people chose to side with Ethan. Mutual friends, a tangled web of connections, most of them linked to Bella. What's this about? Bella said nothing happened last night. Bowden, stop being so paranoid. Wow, starting drama again. Ethan also commented, playing the victim. Bowden, why aren't you answering my messages? I was really just taking care of Bella. Why are you so easily offended? See, everyone is saying you're in the wrong. I laughed. That unknown number texted me again. Okay, that's enough drama. Fine, I'll unblock you. But learn your lesson and stop slandering Ethan. But the next second, Bella was stunned. She called me, her voice full of disbelief. Bowden, did you block me? What the hell is your problem? I sighed. The time was right. It was time to reel in the net and cut the line. I said softly, Bella, let's break up. After hanging up, I blocked this number too. I knew Bella had many ways to contact me, but even a moment of peace was worth it. The moment I hung up the phone, the world was quiet. And just like that, a 2-year relationship with 3 months of it on life support was finally over. I took a deep breath. I blocked all the mutual friends who had talked trash, along with Ethan. A long, long time ago, Bella had been passionate and eager, wanting to drag me along to all her friends' parties and introduce me to everyone. She said she wanted the whole world to hear how much she loved me. But now, a long, long time later, the only result of adding friends was the hassle of having to block them one by one. I didn't know that Bella was staring at her phone, her eyes wide with disbelief. In her world, this was just another one of their usual fights. When the silent treatment ended, I was supposed to be the one to crawl back and make peace, just like always. Because I was too boring. With my bland personality and my extremely average family background, I could never find anyone better if I left her. Because of this, Bella knew exactly what she was doing, but she played dumb. She was certain that no matter what she did, I would never leave her. But what was happening now? Bella glared at her phone for several minutes, but the blocked status didn't change. Anger was one thing, being dramatic was another, but there had to be a limit. Did he actually expect her to appease him? Her brow furrowed tightly. She logged into every platform, checking each one, hoping to find a single account that hadn't been blocked. If I managed to contact him, she thought to herself, this isn't over. The silent treatment will continue. I can't let him get away with this. But unfortunately for her, every single platform, even the minor accounts she had forgotten to block me on before, were all, without exception, blocked by Bowden. Bella's chest heaved. The next moment, her brand new phone smashed against the wall. It shattered into pieces. The noise startled everyone. Her friends, who had been chatting, laughing, and drinking, instantly fell silent. Kyle, let me use your phone. Bella, Kyle stammered. Bowden blocked me too. Bella's expression grew even darker. Ethan shrugged. I honestly don't get Bowden. Maybe I'm just too laid back. But sometimes I really don't understand the little things guys get worked up about. Bella, don't be mad. Big deal, I'll just introduce you to someone new. You're so beautiful, you won't have any trouble finding someone, he said with a comforting smile. One of his buddies shouted, yeah, if he's gone, he's gone. The next one will be better. What's he got that makes him think he can make a girl like Bella grovel? Shut up, Bella said in a low voice. She frowned and lit a cigarette. The shattered phone had been carefully collected by someone who placed the SIM card by Bella's hand. Ethan stared at Bella. In the dim, purple-blue light, smoke swirled, faintly kissing her brow and the corners of her eyes. Vibrant and wild, this woman seemed to have vicious and bad girl etched into her very bones. Yet no matter how many times she lost her temper or started a fight, she had somehow managed to stay with Bowden for 2 whole years. That contrast stirred up a competitive desire in him. Bella suddenly looked up. Ethan, what exactly did you say to Bowden last night? Ethan felt a pang of guilt. I didn't say anything. Just cleared up the misunderstanding and told him not to be so angry. Bella pinched the bridge of her nose. The cigarette burned down to the filter. A new phone had already been delivered by someone with good sense. Bella muttered to herself, is that so? Then he'll probably be over it in a few days. For some reason, A strange sense of panic crept into her heart. It was an empty feeling, like being lost in an endless fog. She felt like she was falling, about to hit rock bottom. A week later, I told Ivy I wasn't as sad anymore. I could eat again. So I decided to treat her to dinner to thank her. After dinner, I was still a little sad. So I pulled Ivy into a long conversation. We talked about her hobbies, about the movies we both liked. It was very rewarding. The only downside was that when I got home, I saw Bella standing at my door with her arms crossed. When Bella saw me, her face was still grim. "Are you done throwing your tantrum? It's been a week. Why aren't you back at our home? How much longer are you going to stay in this dump of a rental?" She seemed certain I would remain silent, so she used me as an outlet for her frustration. But this time, she was wrong. I cut her off without hesitation. "You're asking me why? Because it's disgusting." Bella paused, incredulous. "What did you say?" "You're disgusting. And Ethan is disgusting." Bella said impatiently, "How many times do I have to tell you? He was just taking care of me. We didn't do anything. That day, I just wanted to piss me off." I knew what she was going to say, and I knew that, given her personality, she would never be able to say it out loud. Sure enough, Bella bit her lip and finally just shoved her phone in my face. "Add me back." Her viciousness had a certain naivety to it. "Add me back, and I'll forgive you." I laughed, looking at her coldly. "Forgive me or don't. We've already broken up. Now move, you're in my way."
Bella froze.
This was the biggest concession she was capable of making. She never imagined that when she offered me a way out, I would not only refuse it but also kick her while she was down. Her cheekbones flushed with anger. She grabbed my hand abruptly. "What do you mean? Bowden, you're not going anywhere. You're going to explain yourself." I frowned, staring down at her, and said, word by word, with perfect clarity, "Bella, you told me to pretend you were dead. Now you're here harassing me. What's your problem? Do you need me to perform an exorcism?" Bella was defiant. "Why are you taking it so seriously? I've said the same thing so many times before, and you never, so why should I have to put up with it every single time?" "Bella, I'm going to say it one more time. We are broken up. We are nothing to each other anymore." I didn't agree to that. "Oh?" I looked at her with indifference. I wasn't aware that we needed mutual consent for everything we do. "In that case, Bella, did you get my consent when you brought another man into our bed, flirted with other people, and put me down in front of your friends?" Bella was speechless. She was breathing heavily. Her eyes, which had been full of anger and accusation, finally showed a rare flicker of panic. "You're serious?" Without another word, she pushed her way into my apartment. Like a vicious dog that couldn't read the room, she followed me relentlessly. "You can't be serious, right? Bowden, without me, who else is going to put up with you?" But in the next moment, all her confidence froze, because hanging on the coat rack was a woman's jacket. It was perfectly pressed from a good brand and clearly expensive. A coat that was obviously treasured by its owner. The style was understated and simple, completely different from her usual style of dress. It was obvious. It wasn't hers. The room fell into a dead silence. I spoke. "Bella, get out."
Bowden.
As usual, she paid no attention to what I said. Bella angrily reached out to grab the coat. There was a sharp smack. I slapped the back of her hand. I said, "Get out. And don't touch my things." Bella stared at the back of her reddening hand. "You hit me? You hit me for some slut's coat?" Those two words, "my things," stabbed into her heart like poisoned daggers. A towering wave of jealousy and rage boiled over. "Who is she? Fuck. Who is this woman?" "None of your business," I said, my face blank. "What do you mean it's not my business?" We. Bella suddenly couldn't speak. She stared at me, the corners of her eyes slowly turning red. She took a hesitant step back. "Bowden, why are you looking at me like that? It's like we're strangers." I closed my eyes and said softly, "Because I'm tired. I've been tired for a long time. Bella, you brought all of this on yourself." I said, "We are nothing to each other anymore." Bella froze. She looked down and muttered to herself, "Enough. Enough." Just tell me her name. I'll make sure she never comes near you again. As for us, she pursed her lips. We were just having a lover's quarrel, a little spat. I was a bit harsh and you just had a little slip up. We're even. She gritted her teeth. These are all small things. Bowden, you've always been so easygoing. Is it really so hard to let it go just one more time? I said, I'm in love with her. Bella took a deep, shuddering breath, her chest trembling. What did you say? Say that again, I dare you. I said calmly, I'm in love with her. I'm not in love with you anymore. She's hard to get. I'm the one chasing her. Silence. A dead silence, like the depths of the ocean. Bella felt a black fog envelop her, pulling her off a high cliff. She hit the ground so hard she saw stars, her legs turning to jelly. It felt like something was crushing her back, squeezing all her organs out. She opened her mouth. No words came out. Her mind was flooded with the memory of the first time she met Bowden, his warm, friendly eyes, his smile, his trusting reliance on her and his endless love. Who was the one who became boring? Was it him, or was it her? She suddenly couldn't tell anymore. Bella tried twice before she could speak. Think about it again. You're just emotional right now. I shouldn't have given you the silent treatment for so long. It made you develop some kind of illusion about another woman. She looked up, but my expression hadn't changed. There was no wavering, only a growing, weary impatience. Bella finally spoke, out of options. Right, you're just upset that another man was in our bed. You want to get even, don't you? She said in a desperate voice. Fine. Bowden, I'll allow you one more slip up. You can let her play games with you, drink with you, stay with you, in our house. But only for one night. The more she spoke, the more upset she became, feeling something rising in her throat. In truth, just the thought of someone else drinking with me was unbearable for her. I watched her expression. She finally understood. No one could ever accept a so-called guy best friend. All those things she always insisted were normal interactions became unacceptable and intolerable when she put herself in the victim's shoes. Bella pinched the bridge of her nose hard, trying to stay rational. But I won't allow you to actually sleep together. I won't allow you to kiss. Anything that Ethan and I didn't do, you're not allowed to do either. She said it reluctantly, as if she were granting me a great favor. After you've had your little fling, we'll get back together. Okay? Bella looked at me. Her eyes were desperate, waiting for my answer. I shook my head gently. No, we're broken up. Who cares what you allow? I pointed out calmly. Bella's face turned pale with anger. She glared at me in silence. She couldn't seem to accept that I had so casually discarded her compromise. Without another word, Bella finally lost her patience and stormed out the door. After the door slammed shut, she stood in the hallway, gripping the railing, breathing heavily. Then, a strange intuition, emerging as her anger slowly faded, began to surface. The faint scent on that woman's coat. It was a rare, high-end women's perfume. The scent was very, very familiar, as if someone close to her used to wear it. Before she could figure out who it was, a message from Ethan interrupted her thoughts. Bella, you okay? A few of us guys are planning to take you out tonight. Wash away the bad luck and welcome the next chapter. By the way, should I introduce you to a guy I know? Ethan sent a picture of them together. On the left was him, makeup on point, handsome and bright. The boy on the right had clearly been caught in a candid shot. Bella stared at Ethan's message. She couldn't help but think about the words she had just said, the images she had just imagined. If, during one of their previous silent treatments, a woman had introduced Bowden to someone new, at the thought, Bella felt her stomach twist into knots. She typed furiously, "Get lost." Ethan was taken aback. Bella, I didn't say anything wrong, did I? What's up? Why are you in such a bad mood today? Did Bowden piss you off again? Bella, you said plenty of things you shouldn't have to my boyfriend behind my back that day. Didn't you? She finally understood. A wave of hatred washed over Bella. Hate for Ethan and hate for herself. But she didn't dare admit the latter. I said, "Get lost." And don't let me see you again. Bella was just a minor incident in my life. I quickly put her out of my mind. Ivy had already started to habitually worry about me. I told her my appetite was back, but that ever since my girlfriend passed away, I was too lonely to sleep. We were chatting in a coffee shop at the time. Warm light streamed through the large windows, illuminating Ivy's face. It made her seem to glow, as gentle as water. When she heard my complaint, her brow furrowed slightly. Ivy wasn't the type of person who enjoyed gossiping about others. Because of that, she hesitated for a moment before saying, "Your girlfriend was so awful. She's not worth holding on to." I sighed. What can I say? I'm easygoing and loyal. But I immediately added, that's just the kind of person I am. I get attached easily. I just gave my heart to the wrong person. If I could find someone who would truly treat me well, I know I could get out of this darkness and treat her just as well. Ivy's gaze flickered. She opened her mouth, gathering her courage, but still couldn't say the words. She hesitated, and the hand that was about to reach out quietly retreated. I watched her silently. I knew what she was worried about, what she was hesitating over. I had to give her another push. Ivy, by the way, how did you know my ex-girlfriend was so awful? Ivy finally sighed. It was that same sigh of hers, the one that said she was at a loss with me. She finally confessed, Bowden, I actually know Bella. Ivy looked at me apologetically. During the years Bella was missing, I was mistaken for her by the Vaughn family. It was only after they found her that I changed my name back. But privately, because of that connection, I'm still considered half a Vaughn. So, technically, Bella is my sister. She said softly, it's my fault. After I knew you were her boyfriend, I should have kept my distance. It's just, she frowned, like a gentle and easily fooled scholar. The way she treated you, I couldn't just stand by and watch. She's not dead. She's just playing with you again. Ivy admitted honestly. I'm sorry I never told you before. I don't know if that counts as being a little selfish, but Bowden, I swear I never had any intention of hurting you. I asked softly, what selfish reason? Ivy blushed and looked away. I don't want you to misunderstand me. I'm really not the kind of bad woman who would go after her sister's partner. She said, I just couldn't control my feelings. A master's duel. The best move is no move at all. I put on a moved expression and gently took her hand. Ivy, I would never misunderstand you. You're the best person in the world. And she hugged me sympathetically. Bowden, you're the only boy I've ever felt sorry for. Once it was put like that, it all seemed justifiable. Two pure, good-hearted people, unconsciously brought together by a series of accidents to form a bond. Justifiable. Completely justifiable. As we held each other, I rested my head on Ivy's shoulder. My gaze casually drifted past the window, and then I froze. Bella was standing outside the coffee shop window, her face ashen, staring at us. I had no idea how long she'd been there. You bastard. You absolute bastard. Why her of all people? Why did the person hitting on Bowden have to be her? Those words were written all over Bella's face. She was beyond furious. She had even forgotten her sense of decorum, looking like she was ready to kick the glass window in. Ivy frowned, quickly stood up, and walked out of the coffee shop. She spoke calmly, in a soft, gentle voice. Sis, whatever you have to say, let's talk in the car. This is a public place. Besides, she glanced back at me with concern. Bowden is sensitive. Don't scare him. Don't call me sis. Who the hell is your sister? Bella was about to explode. She couldn't take it anymore. She rushed forward and swung her hand, aiming to slap Ivy across the face. She wanted to shatter that hypocritical face, to crush her bones to pieces. But her rage, which had always barreled forward unimpeded, had met its match today. Ivy steadily caught Bella's wrist, grabbed her by the shoulders, and forced her backward, step by step, all the way to the car door. Her expression remained gentle and kind. Sis, don't be angry. You've misunderstood. Nothing has happened between Bowden and me yet. Her tone was slightly reproachful. But coming from such a good-natured person, even her rebukes sounded like she was standing up for justice. Sis, listen to my advice. Your temper really is not good sometimes. You really need to change. Bella ignited like a match. She struggled to break free, but failed. So she yanked Ivy forward and viciously headbutt her. Ivy dodged, but not completely. She was hit near the corner of her eye. She looked back at me helplessly, the corner of her eye red and looking very innocent. I quickly said, "Bella, are you crazy? She's such a good person. Why would you hit her?" Bella was so mad. She actually started to laugh. I looked at her and thought, she always accused me of being dramatic, but what was she doing now? The truth is, she wasn't oblivious to Ethan's intentions. She just didn't care as long as it didn't interfere with her own interests. I said in a low voice, "Bella, stop the drama. You look pathetic right now." She stopped laughing, her face cold as she stared at me. "Is it really necessary? Bowden, was it really necessary to plot such an elaborate revenge on me? And you, Ivy, aren't we supposed to be sisters? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Doing something so shady behind my back? Elaborate? Shady?" Ivy's voice rose. She shook her head, stepping in front of me protectively, and explained in a good-natured tone, "Bella, you were the one who said Bowden was annoying, who insisted you were dead so he would leave you alone. You were the one who always bullied him so your friends followed your lead, looked down on him and helped you with your lie. This is the modern era, not some feudal society. Bowden thought you were dead, so he started looking for someone new. Isn't that understandable?" Ivy continued, "And you were the one who always looked down on me, who never treated me like a sister. So how was I supposed to know that Bowden was your ex? And how was Bowden supposed to know that I was your sister?" Ivy finally shook her head. "Sis, this was just an unfortunate mistake." Bella was speechless. We both knew that what Ivy said wasn't exactly a lie, but it definitely wasn't the whole truth. I knew about the relationship between Ivy and Bella because on that rainy day, I had walked back and overheard her friends mocking me, and I also heard Ivy defending me. She had called Bella sis, only to be met with more passive-aggressive remarks. But Bella had never told me about Ivy's existence. So on the surface, things were exactly as Ivy described. Not a scheme, not shady. When you added it all up, it was all Bella's own doing. Bella couldn't say a word. She laughed even louder. "So you're fucking with me? The two of you are ganging up on me?" I stood there, feeling not a shred of guilt. Because I knew that if her boyfriend wasn't me, if her boyfriend didn't know how to play the pitiful, patient game, the person having a hysterical breakdown right now would be him. Bella didn't have a righteous bone in her body. She just thought she was superior, so she was used to bullying others and couldn't stand it when someone returned the favor. I took Ivy's arm. "Ivy, you've already explained it to her. If she won't listen, there's nothing we can do." Ivy shook her head with a sigh and squeezed my hand tighter. We turned to leave. "Bowden, don't you dare leave," Bella shouted from behind me. I didn't turn back. She said, "If you walk away, I'll really go find another man." I turned my head and looked straight at her, my eyes calm. "You haven't already?" She froze for a second. I said, "At first, you gave me the silent treatment because you were bored with the relationship. But later, you started doing it all the time, picking at every little flaw, and then going out to party every night. What was that really about?" I asked her, "Bella, on all those drunken nights, at all those parties where your friends were constantly trying to set you up with new people, were you really never tempted?" Bella's expression froze. She hadn't expected me to be so perceptive. She opened her mouth and said stiffly, "They were the ones who came on to me. Parties, there are so many people, it's crowded. It's normal to accidentally bump into someone. I never took it any further with any of them." Her tone was weak. "Believe it or not." "Bella," I laughed. "You know what? When you talk, you sound either like a psycho or an asshole." I turned and walked away. Ivy comforted me, "Bowden, it's okay. It's okay. There are plenty of fish in the sea. If they leave, they leave. The next one will be better." She pointed at herself. Her smile was gentle and elegant, but also firm and unwavering. Ivy was refined and didn't like to compete. After Bella was found, even though the Vaughns still liked her, Ivy took the initiative to leave. Now, it saved them the awkwardness of running into old acquaintances. She was very different from Bella. Her friends were few but close, and she didn't like smoking or drinking. Even her kisses were demure, little careful pecks, like a bird drinking water. So, I couldn't help but take the lead, wrapping my arms around her neck and teaching her, with great effort and seriousness, how to really kiss. Ivy's eyes widened in surprise. Oh, you can do it like that? But I haven't learned yet. Can we do it again? And so we did it again and again, until Ivy was leaning back on the sofa, smiling without a word, her ears bright red, just looking at me. She said, "What's next? Can you teach me some more?" I smiled and leaned in close, whispering in her ear, "Ivy, if you keep up this act, you're going to wear me out." Ivy's smile deepened. She pressed her forehead against mine and gently wrapped her arms around me. "Okay then, my turn to teach you." As she spoke, she flipped us over. I discovered that Ivy wasn't as demure as I thought. My instincts had been right. The two of us, we were indeed a perfect match. Not too bad, but not too good either. Not exactly interesting, but not boring either. Everything was just right.